I am none other than Bishop Manager Martin Luther King. There's a word that we want to deal with today. I see the brother in the chat, my fellow brother, the Honorable Reverend YSM. He's with us today. I got to come back to your church, YSM, so that we can get some dialogue on footage, my brother. We have to know the word truth because the word says the truth will set you free. Now we have to deal with the truth now. The truth of the matter is this. We don't want to hear what's going on with Tank Davis. We don't want to hear what's going on with Devon Haney. We don't want to hear it. We've heard enough. We've heard enough by Bill Haney, and we've heard enough by Calvin Ford. We've heard enough. Now the boxing church want to see Tank Davis versus Devon Haney. We don't want to see Tank Davis fight Isaac Cruz. No, we don't want to see that. We don't want to see Devin Haney fight Matias. I don't even know when Matias' name ever even come up. His name just came up within 24 to 48 hours of Devin Haney demolishing Regis. We don't want to hear or see none of that. We want to see Tank Davis and Devin Haney. I know what some of you saying in the boxing church. I hear you. I know what you're saying. You're saying Manager Martin Luther King, they're not even in the same weight class. Oh, I hear you talking. I hear you. And Manager Martin Luther King have to agree with you. They're not. But neither is Keith Thurman. Neither is Mario Barrios. We don't want to see Devin fight neither two of them either. I mean, it's good for legacy. But we got to deal with truth. And the truth is that Tank Davis, it's time for him to step up and fight Devin Haney. I'm not saying he don't want to fight him. I'm saying the boxing church is saying all across the world it's time for Tank to step up and fight Devin Haney. It's time for Devin Haney to step up and fight Tank Davis. Now, I know some of y'all saying, especially the ones that you sitting in the back, I hear you saying, Manager Martin Luther King, they're not in the same weight class. I hear you. But we have to deal with truth. Now, I was told now by the Reverend in the chat, and he's in the background, and I'm going to let him on. But he said that Devin Haney is not signed exclusively to Eddie Hearn. And I actually hope that's true. And if it's coming from the Reverend YSM, I believe it's true. So we don't need Eddie Hearn to tell us. And I know he's a bishop. I know he's a clergyman, but we don't need Eddie telling us about Teofimo Lopez. No, we don't need that. We don't need the Bishop Eddie telling us about Ryan Garcia against Tank. We don't need to hear that. Want to know why? Because year after year after year after year, we've been criticizing Terrence Bud Crawford for not fighting Errol Spence at the time that the names first was brought up. So we got to keep that same energy when it comes to Tank Davis and Devon Haney. We don't want to hear a reporter ask Devin Haney about Tank Davis, and then Devin Haney says, sooner or later the fight may happen. Because that's what Devin said at the post-fight press conference after the Lomachenko fight. Y'all remember that? Bill Haney's on record telling Coach Calvin Ford that his son is going to knock Tank Davis out. And so now the time is here. We got to deal with truth. It don't matter who your favorite fighter is. We got to stand on honor and truth. And the truth of the matter is, it is time for Devin Haney to step up and fight harder competition. The truth is, it's time for Tank Davis to step up and fight harder competition. And I believe it's time for all of us to step up and apply pressure and let them know what the people want to see. And that is Tank Davis versus Devin Haney. We don't want to see Devin Haney fight nobody else. We don't want to see Tank Davis fight nobody else. But I hear what y'all saying. You're saying, Manager Martin Luther King, they're not in the same weight class. I hear you. But neither was Ryan Garcia when he fought Tank Davis. Y'all remember that? You remember that they fought at a catch weight. So it shouldn't be no problem with Devin Haney and Tank Davis fighting at a catch weight. Now, what the catch weight's going to be, I don't know. But I got to put something on the screen before I close this segment out. I got to put something on the screen now because Devin Haney can't make the weight no more. The young man said it out of his mouth. He just can't make it no more. But I want to show y'all something on your screen. Don't you get mad at the Bishop, Manager Martin Luther King. I'm showing you what the SNAP program said on their Instagram. Their products improve your level of fitness and it helps lose fat, build muscle, and enhance performance. So if Tank Davis got an issue with his weight, he need to go to the SNAP program. Yeah, I said it. If Devin Haney got an issue with his weight, he need to get on another program on the SNAP program because we see what the SNAP program does. I know y'all don't want to hear about it, but we got to stand on honor and truth. And in my benediction, I must end it with the truth. You might not want to hear the truth, but turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, the SNAP program works. Turn to your other neighbor and say, neighbor, the SNAP program, it works. And I dare anybody to challenge me and tell me that the SNAP program don't work. You see how these men and women on the SNAP program perform? Don't get mad at me. Devin Haney told you on the Netflix special. Y'all remember that documentary Yeah, my cousin told me he had a problem pulling it up from Netflix yesterday. They said they had a system or network error, excuse me. Devin Haney done told y'all what the snack program does. Now, somebody might say Manager Martin Luther King. What did Devon Haney say about the snack program? Well, don't take my cousin Manager Marty's word for it. Don't take Manager Martin Luther King's word for it. Take Devon Haney's word for it. Himself, he's going to tell you about the snack program. It works.
He believed in the dream.
I guess in some respects, did we create a monster? Maybe a little bit, but I mean, I think most people who hear and see Victor Conti realize him for who he is, and that's, a used car, snake oil, salesman guy, bullshit artist.
I'd like to dedicate my life to helping to create a level playing field for the young athletes of the future. I'm by far most proud of contribution to the anti-doping movement. Went and met with WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency, and I reveal specifically how these athletes are circumventing the anti-doping policies and procedures in place. What they're doing now is they're using duck and dodge techniques. Just take it like this, put it under the tongue. I think there's abuse going on. I think there needs to be a further investigation.
But how many guys do you think are using?
My guess is about 50%.
50% of MMA athletes or
Yes,
professional
of
athletes?
MMA. And now because you can't make a living cheating anymore, you want to flip the other side and start calling people out and point fingers? And it just so happens that the red light district of sport, which is boxing, I was able to find a home there.
Me with Victor, then that's when people will come to me and say, oh, he's a cheater and he's going to try to give you drugs, or he is giving you drugs and stuff like that. But I never really paid attention to it. Yeah, I mean, I would say that it is performance enhancing, just without the drugs. Victor's definitely the master.
Did you hear the man Devin Haney himself tell you? Yes, people have come to me and told me to watch out for Victor. They told me he was a cheater. They told me he was going to give me drugs. They told me that. But I'm blocking everybody out. I'm not worried about what the people are saying, criticizing me for being over here on the snack program with Victor Conti. And we're going to close the benediction out with the words of Devin Haney himself. He said, yes, it's performance enhancements without the drugs. Victor Conti is a mad scientist. So in closing, Boxing Church, I tell you, don't get mad at Manager Mark. Don't you get mad at me when I make certain observations about the snack program. Don't you get mad at me if I told you in the last 3 or 4 fights that Devin Haney he fought in great gloves, but in the Regis fight, he fought in Everlast gloves. Don't get mad at me. This is truth. Don't take my word for it. The snack program, it works.